Good morning, folks. Bear with me 1 second here. Gotta make sure things are on the up and up. If you guys can hear me, appreciate if you give me a heads up. Make sure things are on the up and up. If you guys can hear me, appreciate if you give me a heads up on X. Just let me know if 5 you can hear me. All right. So we are looking at a new Trump presidency. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I don't vote. Okay, and I know some of you are going to be mad about that. Okay, and that's not what this is about. So if you're thinking we're going to be talking about politics, we're not. But I want to kind of like explain to you why Forex is now back on the menu. So it's going to be a little bit of reference to politics simply because it relates to monetary policy and global trade. And that's one of the major functions of the foreign exchange market. So if you've been wondering why Forex has sucked for the last few years, it's because you had an administration in power here um, that wasn't all that friendly for it. So, and you might argue that Trump isn't going to be friendly for it or wasn't friendly before, but he gets things done because he's a businessman. And unfortunately, whether you like it or not, the American nation, the United States, is a corporation, unfortunately, and it has to be ran like a business. So, for the folks that's going to wonder why I don't vote, is because I don't believe in the two-party system. It's a one-party system, and you have the illusion of choice. They share back and forth power, and they basically bend the knee to people that you don't see that really run everything. So that's my opinion, and you're welcome to debate about and say whatever you want to say about it, but that's my opinion. That's why I don't participate in it. Okay? So, and you can't blame me no matter what happens. So, Forex has been pretty much a killjoy for a number of years. And when I publicly came out and said that I was not trading it anymore, because of the administration that came in, I was not comfortable with what was transpiring, not only there, but with COVID stuff, with the draconian things that were being implemented, not only in America, but in every other country. It was just a very prime environment for a black swan. And honestly, just because Trump has been president elect now doesn't mean he's ever going to get in the office. Anything can happen, folks. You know, the man's up in age. Something unforeseeable might happen. Lord forbid. But it's a long walk between now and January 20th. Let's just put it that way. And once he gets in office, he's already talked about some of the things he wants to do, and that's going to stir up the foreign exchange markets. Okay, they already started moving around a lot. Futures this week, on the heels of the Trump landslide, they had moved, as you would expect, one way higher. And if it would have been more leaning towards Kamala, which would have been a shock for me, why anybody would have voted for her. She didn't even campaign long enough, and she doesn't have any policies. So if it were going to be heavily weighted towards her, like they did in 2020, and yes, I believe absolutely it was freaking stolen. I almost slipped in there. I wasn't going to cuss today. They stole it. Where's the 15 and 20 million votes that was there in 2020? And it's a record turnout for mail-in ballots and in-person voting. Oh yeah, math, it matters. So because of that uncertainty of whether they are going to rig it again and give it to her, basically, the the uncertainty of that, if it would have been like that, you would have seen a whipsaw election night around 9 o'clock or so. It would have went both directions wildly, like a FOMC type event. And then the real move would have transpired. But as everyone was watching, the election was unfolding in Trump's favor. So obviously, like him or not, as a person, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he does with his personal relationships. I don't care. I don't sleep with the man. I don't spend his money. And just because you go bankrupt in a business doesn't mean that you failed. That just means that you keep what's yours and you keep creditors away from you. And it sucks as a creditor if you're owed money, but that's unfortunately the perks of being a incorporation. When you incorporate yourself and recreate a business entity, you have a lot of luxuries that are afforded to you. And just because someone files bankruptcy corporately or individually doesn't necessarily mean that they're broke or that they failed. It just means that they washed their hands of the requirements monetarily and obligations, and they can restart and respawn. And you do it all the time if you play video games, but you don't think it like that in the corporate world because you're financially illiterate. And anyone that's not trained to think and taught how to be an entrepreneur, they don't see that as an advantage. They don't see that as something that you would want to have because unfortunately, things that like COVID, they put the squeeze on people, and a lot of corporations went under, a lot of companies went under, a lot of mom and pop businesses went under, and that was kind of like what I was warning about with Forex because the administration that was coming in was not going to be supportive for that environment. Now, it doesn't mean that people didn't make money. That doesn't mean that people using other strategies with mine or without mine weren't making money trading Forex. But you have to really admit that the last few years trading Forex has been kind of lame. It's been really lackadaisical. And now just recently we've had this breath of fresh air come into it and it's moving around. And that's exciting, isn't it? So while I don't think we're going to have the early 2000s or so type volatility where it was moving around wildly, which made me leave all other forms of asset trading and went to Forex predominantly. That I don't suspect that that's going to be the case here, but it certainly is going to be better for Forex traders into 2022. I'm sorry, 2025. So that Trump effect is going to spread throughout all the asset classes. And you're going to see a whole lot of loosening up of markets that have been strangled for the last 3.5, 4 years almost. And that should be exciting for those of you that have traded for a while. And you know that we've been kind of like in a stranglehold with volatility. It's been less exciting, let's put it that way. I believe that we're getting ready to go into salad days. Salad days are like the easy trading days where you just get in there and it just runs for you. It just really, really runs for you. And if you know what you're doing and you know how to place yourself in the positions, you're going to very frequently find your take profit quickly ran to. And that is a very fun environment to trade in. It doesn't happen every year. It doesn't happen just because a Republican or a Democrat gets in office. It just means that there's a lot of things that have to take place to weigh out the the impacts, if you will, the influences. And because Trump is a mover and a shaker, he's a doer. Okay, and I'm not going to try to prop him up because, like I said, I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for anyone. I don't ever vote. I'm not a registered voter. Period. But if I were going to be honest with you, if I was going to vote, I would have voted for Trump simply because I'm not voting for him. I don't care who he slept with, who he didn't sleep with. I don't care about his failed marriages. I don't care about his infidelity. I don't care about those things. I care about someone that cares about our country and cares about the people that live in it. And we have to live here, folks. And as someone that has a little bit more affluent lifestyle than most of you probably listening, I feel the pinch when I go to the grocery store because it offends me that it costs that much. It bothers me to see that this is artificially inflated and it was purposely done. All these things I talked about in 2019 and 2020, it all came home to roost. Everybody feels it, not just here, everywhere. Everything, everywhere is expensive. And I told you that was going to be a catalyst to what they were doing March 2020. And here it is. So now we have a unique opportunity to see if this man is who he says he is, because we have the House, Senate, and the SCOTUS, and we have the White House. So when I say we, people that are interested in moving forward with the U.S. being strong, not intentionally weakened, made a mockery where men dress up like women and pretend to be leaders in our military. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And if that offends you, I don't care. Unfollow me. But the point is this: we have a unique opportunity to help the mentally ill, position people in the right seats because they're qualified to do so. All of this, equal opportunity because, you're a different sex, a different way of lifestyle. That's nonsense. Anytime, anytime I hired an employee, anytime, I was looking for the best qualified person. If that person was born one sex or another, it doesn't matter. I want someone that's going to be strong. And moving forward, we have that now going forward. Boeing just dropped their entire division of DIE or DEI or whatever. And that was a wonderful thing to see because you may live a alternative lifestyle, and that's your choice. You're absolutely entitled to do that. You have that free will to do that, but you don't have the free right to force it down everybody else's throats. And we don't have to join you in your delusion. And companies and corporations should not be forced into a position where they have to hire because they're going to get canceled. If you ran a company and I came in there or someone else came in there and said, you need to do this and you need to do that, and it flew in the face of everything that you stood for, but it was forced upon you to do that, how would you feel about it? You wouldn't feel good about it. Nobody would. And that's what we've been under. We've been under this tyrannical pressure to see things through a lens that's absolutely delusional. And it's wonderful to see the opportunity for people to go back to what matters most. Are you qualified to do the job? Are you qualified to be in that position? Because Kamala wasn't. I wasn't certain that Trump was in 2016. I was optimistic because I wanted to see how it was going to pan out. And he ran it like a company. And that's exactly how this nation and every country should be ran. But it shouldn't be a huge government. We need a smaller government. We need to reduce it. And the people that are representatives that think that they're lords and we're serfs, that's what they've been trying to work towards. And I don't look at these senators as leaders. They're supposed to be representatives. They work for us. They're supposed to represent us and our expectations and desires to see our country flourish and allow the opportunities for free people. Because that's what we are here in the United States. We're free people. And they've been casting this illusion over you that you're not. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't go to your funeral. You can't go to the hospital and see your sick folks. You have to put this in your body. My choice. My body, my choice. Where was that thought process when we had COVID mandates pressed on us? You need to wake up, folks. And now we have a unique opportunity to make the right direction in the path before us. Chase that. It doesn't matter who that person is. What's the ideology behind it? Because if it's making the nation stronger and it's affording you opportunities and it's affording the companies that you work for right now while you're learning how to trade, because you want those benefits, you want that higher pay, you need that right now. You have everything to pay for it. It's extremely expensive. You're not going to quickly run out there because you watch ICT videos and quit your job. You're not going to be joining somebody else's mentorship in 2025. They're going to promise you the world, but pay me monthly, pay me monthly. And that's a problem because I don't need to do that anymore. I could. I could make me make millions every single month, all over again. All I gotta do is put a PayPal link up there. Here it is. Here, send money here, and you'll all be piling money into it again. I don't need to do that. Because I don't need to do that, I can give you the best education walking forward with you looking over my shoulder and feel confident that it's going to outperform everybody else's would be mentorship in 2025. I'm going to lay an open challenge out to everyone that's going to be starting their first year mentorships or the ones that have been doing it for a while. Let's see who has the most profitable students at the end of 2025. Because what I'm bringing in 2025 is absolutely university level. Absolutely. The Dean of Glean is absolutely in session in February 10th, 2025. My YouTube channel will become a university. We're going to be covering commodities. Futures will still be, the main staple because that's what I'm actively trading now. But I will be bringing back in Forex. So every single day, you're going to know what the Forex market and or the futures market holds for opportunity through my eyes. At the end of the week on Friday, and I'll have a more refined schedule, probably the 1st of January. So the very first day of 2025, I'll post on my YouTube channel in the comment section or community section rather. And it'll probably end up being in a video too, because I want to make sure everybody understands what I'm going to be doing, what schedule I'm going to follow. So that way, if you're interested in commodities, Fridays at the end of the trading for the week, I'm going to go over all the majors in the commodity markets. That means every metal. That means every agricultural market, bonds. I'm going to cover gold, silver, copper, platinum, palladium, even oats, lean hogs, live cattle, feeder cattle. I'm going to cover soybeans, wheat, corn, and oil. I'll cover all the energy markets. So I'm going to go back through everything I did back when I was doing mentorship in 2016, 2017. What my students actually had the privilege to go through was how to start looking at price. But we have already done that. You all know how to do that now. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to be doing my own analysis and sharing where I'm calling the market. And I'm going to pull you off of these 1 minute charts because a lot of the things that you're struggling with is because you don't understand the higher time frame charts. And because I've spent such a long time working and teaching through 1 minute charts, 15-minute charts, 5 minute charts, you understand what you should be seeing on those lower time frames. The problem, the missing piece is you haven't spent enough time on the monthly, weekly, and the daily to afford yourself the luxuries of knowing what a higher time frame bias and draw on liquidity is on those time frames. And go back to what I started this Twitter space with, or X space rather. In 2025, the market should loosen up. That means you're going to start seeing sustained trends and they're going to move around a lot. And that is going to be wonderful for all asset classes, even crypto, even though I think Bitcoin's going to go to zero eventually. And yes, I went there again. I would never buy Bitcoin. I think it's a trap. I think it's an absolute mind scramble. And a lot of people are going to get hurt with it. So I hope I'm wrong. I want to be laughed at by people that made millions and millions and millions of dollars with it. It would make me very, very happy to be wrong and you've made money if you do that. I'm just suggesting to you, because I get asked all the time, I see people pretending to be me online talking about I give signals in crypto. I would never trade crypto, ever. Not one thing in crypto. Why? Because it's the beast system that's talked about in Revelation. That's why I'll never touch it. We're not going into the discussions of the Bible, but that's the reason why I won't touch it. Okay, so that way you know plainly, it's simple, it's right to the point. I will never, ever, ever trade a cryptocurrency, ever. So once a week, I'll do a full breakdown and it'll kind of like be a weekly review on commodities. It'll be on a Friday evening. It'll be a pre-recorded video, so that way it allows me to get right to the point. I edit out all the little stuff that I usually end up talking about when I'm doing it live, all the you know, things that you don't want me to talk about. Since it's going to be primarily focused on commodities, it'll be recorded. That way it allows me to go through each time frame where I believe the market's going to go and why it should go there. Okay. Because we're going to talk about commodity markets, there really is a supply and demand factor in those markets because it's the world's grocery store. They are real markets, okay? They're real. They have a real value, and that real value has a supply and demand aspect to it that no other market has. There's really no incentive or reason to buy a share of any stock. There's no real reason to buy a NASDAQ contract. There's really no reason to buy a S&P contract or sell short the Dow. It's an illusion based on the illusions of individual stocks. But a amount of gold or a bushel of wheat or soybeans, if you're on an island, and I'm going to borrow an analogy that Larry Williams used, if you're stuck on an island and you don't have anything, and someone offers you gold or a bushel of wheat, what are you going to go with? You're going to go with the wheat. You can't eat the gold. So the grocery store of the world is the commodity market, and they have real supply and demand factors. So we'll be able to track any mega trades that form in 2025, and I think we're going to have some amazing mega trades in 2025. I'll break down the monthly, weekly, and daily with you on a week by week basis and intermittently throughout the week. If anything changes or things become more in line with what I give in a higher time frame review on Friday for commodities, I will ring that inside the daily reviews. My plan is I kind of like want to have segmented videos and or streams, and I don't want to promise streams for everything. Um, if I can overcome the technical things I'm going through with my YouTube channel for whatever reason, they're messing with the audio no matter what I do. They're doing something with it all the time, and that's not my issue on my end. I went through several things to correct it. I spent a lot of money with different equipment and different computers, and it's not me. So something's going on in the transition from my ISP sending the stream to their servers, or they're getting it and it's just simply being mishandled there. So that's why I haven't been streaming. But the one way or the other, if I have to create another YouTube channel to compensate for that, I will. It's not a big deal. Um, but I know a lot of you don't want to have anything to do with commodities. So I'm not going to force you to watch a video to find to a specific segment of that video where I finally talk about the asset class that you're interested in. Uh, by far and large, the majority of you are following me because of Forex. And a lot of you have been upset because I haven't been active in Forex. And I've explained to you why. Because Trump is going into office, a lot of the world leaders are now happy that they can have someone they can have a conversation with. And he may be stern on a lot of things in their eyes, but they know if he says that they're going to have a trade deal, they're going to have a trade deal. They're not going to be talking to a mannequin. So, because of that, that global trade infusion of volatility, everybody now is getting prepared to start doing global trade again with the US and all these different types of deals. We're going to be selling oil, which is what we should have been doing all along. And that's going to be great for our economy. It's going to be great for your job. If you have a job, it's good for the economy. If the economy kept going in the way it was going under the present administration, your job is not promised to you. And because you're financially illiterate, you don't see that. But that's a business owner has to make a profit. They have to make a profit. Just because what you make as an annual or an hourly salary or weekly salary, an employer has not just to pay that, but it has to pay it twice. You don't even realize that. You just give me a good job, pay me a good salary. But you don't realize that employers have to pay twice that. They have to pay for unemployment. They have to pay all these other things in addition to what you're paid hourly. And if you start making it harder for employers and companies and corporations, they're not inclined to want to keep people that they could trim back on overhead. And that means that you might have been made redundant or would have been made redundant. So while you're working towards growing and knowing how to do this independently and being consistently profitable, it's very important that your mindset is correct. Don't be caught up in this crazy leftist view on the whole economic landscape is going to fall apart because Trump went in there. 4 years ago, we had the economy firing on all cylinders, and Obama had absolutely nothing to do with that, zero to do with it. All the policies were shifted away from that garbage, and we started running like a corporation. And that's why everything was becoming smoother. And then when Trump was out of office, what happened? Train wreck. Okay, train wreck. And I can talk just like this because I didn't vote for either party, but I'm a realist. I can see with a business background. I ran business. I own businesses. Okay, I know how this works. Okay, so if you're a person that's always been an employee or you're a university student and you've been indoctrinated, admittedly, like my own daughter, okay, they have been forced to see things through a very skewed perspective. And it's unfortunate because you're being taught and spoken to see things rear end backwards. And you get told this over and over and over again, and eventually you start to believe it. And that's what's going on right now. And hopefully, as Trump starts to run our country like a business again, we will get things back in line, and everybody's pocketbook and wallet will be pleased because of it. And I'm all for corporate tax breaks because that's how you keep your job. Corporations have to be profitable. Period. Nobody goes into business to be a charity. They go into business to be profitable. And if they can hire the best qualified people, that's the most appropriate thing. You as a developing student, You're trying to do what? You're trying to be the most qualified trader to trade your own money. If you're not doing that, you're not doing things correctly. You haven't made a business plan to plan for that. Are you willing to go out there and say, hey, listen, Mr. Blue haired person, Mr. Nose Ring, okay, Mr. different kind of pronoun, you want to trade my money? I'm going to give you the equal opportunity. Here is my $100,000 account. You deserve a chance. Trade my money. You deserve it. Are you gonna feel comfortable doing that? Because if you're not comfortable doing that, stop talking the nonsense that you see other people on the internet right now forcing down other people's throats. Oh, you have to do this. You should do this. Or you're a bigot. You're a racist. You're this. You're that. No, you're not. It's nonsense. Nobody in their right mind would do those things. But now contrast that with someone that says, hey, I have 20 years of trading history, and I don't have any more than 3 or 4 losing months on average, but I come out profitable with anywhere between 15 to 30% a year return. Who's getting that opportunity with your money? Huh? Skittle hair or the person that has a real track record that's more qualified? So a lot of you that are trying to train and learn from me, you want to go out there into the world and be a fund manager. What are you going to bring to the table? Are you going to bring, you owe me an opportunity? Or here's my track record, here's what I've been able to accomplish, and I don't take big risks. That's kind of like where we're going to be going in 2025. It's about the quality of setup, not the quantity of setup. It's not the frequency of trade. It's not the small time frame for purposes of being able to showcase to the world that you can find multiple setups in the morning or in the afternoon or in the London session. You're looking for the most opportune times to trade. And that means you might be trading on an hourly chart. That means you might be trading on a 4 hour chart. That means you might be trading on the daily chart and nothing underneath it. There's lots of opportunities like that. And my son, because I force him to make his own money, I force him to go to work to earn his money because it's giving him the gas, the steam, the energy, the motivation to want to learn how to do this because dad's not going to give it to him. And because that may not be what you would expect, you would probably think, well, I would hate you if you were my dad. Good. That's the same kind of steam that he's going to need. If he got mad at me and said, Dad, I don't respect you because you didn't give me money. My oldest son did that. There for a number of years, we didn't talk because I would not give him more money because he didn't do what he should have done with it when I gave it to him. And Caleb, being the second oldest, learned from that. He said, you know what, I'm not going to do that. If I have to earn it, Dad, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud to see that. And once he takes the initiative of going through that process of, man, it sucks. I want it faster, but I have to submit to this. I have to submit to this process. He will understand how all these markets work together, just like my private mentorships. They were connecting all the markets together. And if you understand, not that you need it, you don't need to know what bonds are doing to trade Forex. You don't need that. It helps a lot. But why have I not been talking about bonds? Because we have an administration here that was playing funny money games. Bonds were not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So why should I refer to them? You're not going to get the pure data that you would get in other times. So you go right back to price only. What is price telling me? Don't look at other supporting studies with the interest rates because the interest rates are being manipulated. So go back to the individual price of the instrument you're trading. And where's your setup going to form? Around time, because the markets run algorithmically. Commodities have a supply and demand factor associated with them that no other asset class has. Zero. There's no reason to buy Bitcoin. There's no reason to try trade or buy any of these meme coins or all this other stuff that comes out. There's no reason to buy any stock or any individual option. That's speculation. There's no real supply and demand factors there. It's greed and fear. Those are the very aspects and two pillars that cause people to lose money. In commodities, you have a built-in advantage. You have supply and demand factors. You have a way of measuring the real interest in big smart money, the large consumers of a commodity. If they're net long on that commodity and they've been building that position for a number of months, and every time it drops and goes lower, they start building that position larger again. They're telling you you don't need a moving average that's going to go higher. They're telling you that you don't need a trend line sloping up that's going to go higher. You don't need it to go oversold. You don't need it to create bullish divergences. You simply need to know that this market is predisposed to go higher. And if there's a backwardization between the contract's month delivery price, meaning if it trades in March and it trades in June, if March's contract is trading at a higher price than June's contract, and June's trading at a higher price than September's contract in the future, that means that there's this backwardization of the normal carrying charge market. That means that you are in a commercial bull market. That means the market is likely, once it starts going higher, it will start spooling aggressively vertical, kind of like what cocoa did this year. Cocoa smoked everything. Like that market just was like brilliant, beautiful. Every year, there's 2 or 3 markets like that in the commodity market. Every single year, it does that. And for folks that understand options, and guess what? We're finally going to talk about options. You can parlay a very, very small account into hundreds of thousands of dollars in a move like that. And I have seen people do this and never trade again. One time, one trade, one market, they just stalk it, stalk it, stalk it, stalk it. And those 2 markets were silver and coffee. And they never did anything else ever again. They didn't day trade. They didn't do any kind of other type of trading. They didn't trade that market ever again. They just waited and waited and waited. And when all the things came together, they moved their money into options and they bought those call options and there it was. It was done. I mean, if you live your life simply and you don't go out there and try to impress everybody, you don't go out there and try to live above your means. If you can make a couple $1,000,000 and you live modestly, you're comfortable for the rest of your life. That doesn't mean you're rich. It just means you're comfortable. And honestly, so many of you are trying to take exorbitant risks, gambling on momentum, chasing price, but calling it a model, calling it a methodology, when it's really just chasing price. If your idea is, okay, it's moving up, let me get in here and buy it, because if I can get a couple handles out of it, yeah, I'm winning. Nobody's doing it like this. That's not really sustainable. Okay. That's what I was doing in the beginning. I was doing it in 1993. And eventually that stops working. And we're getting ready to go into a market where if you don't know how to trade, your hinder parts are going to be handed to you. But the good news is, the wonderful news is, if you do know how to trade, we have years, not just in 2025, we have years, at the very minimum, 2 years, because there's a Senate election every 2 years in the United States. So for the next 2 years, in 2025 and 2026, we should have salad days trading. That means this is the stuff you've been waiting for as a trader that's been trading for a while. The environment is conducive for absolute millionaire making. Very, very, very good trading. And that has my juices flowing. Like I'm hopped up on goofballs. I know the opportunities that are coming. I know that. I've been doing this for 32 plus years, and I am absolutely stoked to see what I know is coming down the pike. That is opportunity that you have been strangled. You've been stifled as a trader. We've not had the volatility that is supportive for the types of moves that really make easy trading. These markets have been very, very difficult in recent years. And I've made very, very open comments several times to my private students. I said it to them, and I've said it candidly out in YouTube and or in Twitter spaces like this, or X spaces. And it doesn't mean it's impossible to trade, but if you've had difficulty finding footing, say you've been trading for a little while, and you're like, man, this market sucks. Trust me, 3 decades rather of experience. I have seen good years and I've seen some bad years. And we have seen artificial manipulation in the market so much. It's disgusting. And hopefully we will start moving away from that. And you got to give a little bit of time. It doesn't mean the entirety of 2025, it doesn't mean half of 2025. But I usually take a break from trading the week right before Thanksgiving, and I don't trade until the first or second Tuesday of February of the new year. That means I allow January to trade without me. I allow the first week of February to trade without me. I don't trade December because I want to be focused on the holidays and family. I don't trade Thanksgiving week or after it going into the end of November because I got burned by FXCM trading around Thanksgiving. So that was the final lesson for me. I said, that's it. I'm done. I'm just going to take this completely out of there. And I'm going to let the holidays be my holidays. I'm not going to trade around it. Just like I don't trade on vacations anymore. I used to take vacations and I would trade. And sometimes I would do very, very well. And any small loss would mess up my whole entire vacation. I would be like, why did I even do this? And it may not be big of a loss. And it would just poison the entire experience of being away. I'm supposed to be away. So if you take a vacation, take a vacation. But in 2025, I'm going to be showing you the best of the best. And it's all for free. There's absolutely no obligation on your part at all. You're not going to pay me anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to watch my videos. Okay? I don't care how many viewers watch it. I'm not putting the thumbs up there because that's not what I'm looking for. I don't care about that. I want people to take advantage of the opportunities that's going to be laid out in front of everyone over the next 2 years. And I'm going to share my real time analysis, just like I did with my private mentorship. They experienced this on a day by day basis. They watched me explain where the daily and the weekly chart was going to go to, why it was going to happen. And I was in a high 90% accuracy. And you're going to experience that. You're going to see it. You're going to be a part of it. You're going to be just like you're in a private mentorship. You're going to be just like a charter member. You're going to be sitting right there looking over my shoulder, listening to me explain. This is why. This is it. This is not. This is why it shouldn't. This is why it should. And this is what I expect to see happening. So there is no ambiguity. I'm going to show you what will likely occur. And if I'm wrong, this is what's going to happen. But there'll be times where if I see something that may unfold and it doesn't pan out, and I give you the reasons why it won't pan out, I'll tell you when I'm going to reverse based on that idea. You never get that from anybody else. I will tell you everything. I'm going to tell you everything. And I'm not showing demo accounts next year. Okay. I have real money accounts. Any example I share is going to be real money examples. Okay. You've seen enough of that. You've seen enough of that with the market replay guys. You've seen enough of that with the delayed data, live streams, all that stuff. It's time for tomfoolery and fakes to step out of the way and let the man come through. You're going to see what it's really like to be trained by a world-class educator and trader. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen for free. I promise you, I guarantee you that no one's going to be able to keep up with what I'm bringing in 2025. No one's going to produce as much profitable students at the end of the year than I am. And you're all welcome to bring the receipts because I'm encouraging you all to do that. It's going to happen. You're going to have a whole lot of fun. All the shenanigans is done. I had a lot of fun on Twitter this year, but I'm showing you something that you never would experience otherwise. Your job is to determine what you want to do. Do you want to specialize in futures? Then don't worry about what I'm doing in commodities. Don't worry about the Forex. If you've left Forex and went to futures and you found that it's a more gentlemanly market, it means it's more precise. You don't see a lot of the tomfoolery that you see in Forex. And everybody's price is the same price. In Forex, it's not the case. So if you've been upset because your love is in Forex and you've not been able to find your footing in there, welcome home. Because in 2025, Daddy's coming back. I'm bringing sexy back to Forex. Let's put it like that. Okay. Every mentor out there that's educating, I promise you, sales are going to suffer in 2025. Okay. It's nothing personal. It's just I'm the best and I'm going to prove it. I'm going to create a legion of profitable students. I'm going to create an army, a testimonial army of this is the market. This is how you should be trading. This is how you should think about it. There's no lifestyle stuff here. There's no vlogging stuff here. It's just we're coming together like a board meeting. Here's the data. Here's our KPIs. What are we doing with this information? What direction are we making? What's the investment that ICT's making with this real money? You can't get any better than that. Because if I'm not willing to put my money behind it, it ain't worth taking. If it ain't worth taking like that, then why should I talk about it? Sorry, but not sorry. It's time for the talkers to stop talking. If you have something of value, you'll produce it and share it too. And you'll have people come behind you and say, wow, you know what? This made me who I am today. Great. I'm all for it. If it makes you better, makes you profitable, well done. But if you're teaching with market replay, or they're teaching in hindsight, this is what I would have done if I did it, or if they tell you, I took a trade, I think I entered in here. If they don't show you, they didn't do it. They didn't do it. If they're teaching through Trust Me Bro Incorporated old tactics of here's my screenshot of my MT4, MT5, here's my profits, forget about it. If you are the guys that believe $100 will turn into $1 million with white label fake Forex brokers, you're going to be shocked to see how you can really make money and not believe that BS because that stuff doesn't happen. It did not happen. And you're welcome. You're welcome to let me pay for a third party audit and prove that you didn't take $100 to $1 million, Alex. So you're going to see all kinds of wonderful real world analysis concepts. No extra PD arrays required. My whole approach is going to be how you, and there'll be videos in January that are pre-recorded educational videos that's going to help you use the information that I'm giving that's going to be purely just analysis. I'm not teaching, okay? I'm not teaching in 2025. I've already taught. I've already taught. There's no new wheel being reinvented, but in January, I'm going to give you lessons. There'll be 20 videos in January. It'll be Monday through Friday delivery, and it'll help you if you don't know what to do with all that stuff on my YouTube channel. Those are the videos that's going to finally just address it. Say, okay, here's, if you want to be trading Forex, this is what you should do using the videos, how to approach it. And once you watch them, what should you do next? Okay. I'm not writing a book. Okay. I thought about it. It's aggravating dealing with these guys that are publishers. I'm not going to do it. So what I was going to put in a book format, I'm literally doing it over the course of 2025 because it's better to simply watch me do it because you're not going to appreciate anything I type out. And I've looked at these rough drafts, okay, and I'm looking at them like I know what this means, but I know that it's not going to deliver because most of you don't even do the work of back testing and looking for the things I tell you to look at. There's a lot of videos on my YouTube channel. I have dozens of books written in video format. Like they're better than audiobooks. They're literally the best thing you can find in terms of understanding what algorithmic price delivery is like, understanding what time delivery is, understanding the mechanics of precision entries and exits, understanding the real market structure, not just simply higher high, higher low. That's garbage. There's things that you simply cannot get communicated effectively in a book. And my obsessive compulsive disorder just won't allow me to be satisfied because they want me to trim back some of the things. They're like, well, this could be reduced in size. No, it ain't. I don't want that. So to save myself a lot of the aggravation and save the whole community a lot of time waiting for the few people that would buy it, photocopy it, and then try to sell it for $10 on Telegram channels. You're not getting that money either, Jack. So I'm just going to simply go out there and just do it. I'm going to do it over all the asset classes. You're going to watch me outline it, just like I did with my students in unpaid mentorship. You're going to see everything I've always said is true. And you're going to see it in every asset class: commodities, bonds, currency futures. You don't want to trade Forex anymore, or never traded Forex and never could muster the interest in trading Forex? Wonderful. You can trade the futures contract on currencies. I did, and you'll see me do it this year with real money. Real money, not a demo account. All real. There's nothing to hide. There's no reason to hide from it. The stuff works. And when you see that you have a plethora of opportunities in front of you, you can be a commodity trader. And maybe that's the asset class that you've never realized that was designed perfectly for you, meaning that you're not going to trade every single day. You're going to look for setups that make perfect sense. You have real supply and demand factors behind why that move should take place. And you're using a higher time frame entry model. So you're not worried about the tiny little fluctuations intraday. You're not worried about kill zones and macros. They're not necessary. You're simply looking for high probability entries with sound risk management in markets that are predisposed to go higher or lower because of real supply and demand factors, real fundamental aspects. That only occurs and exists in commodities. So for the folks that have a lot of distrust in the mumbo jumbo that I say about algorithmic this and algorithmic that, the commodity markets have a real supply and demand pull and tug of war on price action. It's a unique asset class that has a lot less tomfoolery in it, even beyond the scope of futures trading in sense of index trading. Now, index trading, you know, because I trade predominantly the NASDAQ, I will start bringing in ES once in a while because I know a lot of you like to trade the ES and you're like, can you show examples in ES? Well, if my focus is primarily on the NASDAQ at the time, um, I know sometimes I come across like a mental giant. I'm not. I'm not a genius. I'm not trying to portray the idea that I'm some savant. I'm I'm a simple guy that's been blessed. And if I dilute my attention to too many things at one time, which is why we have to have a schedule. On Fridays, I'll deal with commodities. At the end of the week, telling you what I believe is going to happen for the coming week in trading. And then that'll afford me the opportunity to sprinkle throughout the week when things are salient to that idea that I gave on the previous week at the end of the week. So that way you have my expectations shared on Friday. So that way, anytime during the weekend when you're watching football games, whatever the sports, you do your house chores or whatever, and your wife or spouse allows you the time to watch that video, you'll have my perspective on the coming week with the grain markets, the metals markets, the energies market, the currency futures. Every facet to commodity trading, I'm going to cover that. There won't be any market that is not touched. Okay, I'm going to touch it all up. Okay, so daily, I will be an index trader with analysis, and you'll see that. With short-term trading, I will be doing that with either Forex or the currency futures. So short-term trading is going to be not day trading in Forex, not day trading in index futures, but I'm sorry, futures, currency futures rather. Any setup that forms in Forex is going to be forming in currency futures. So you're going to see this overlap between both of them. So whether you want to be whether trading in the Forex market, which is cowboy Western, where everybody has a different price. Everybody has a different high for GBP USD. Everybody has a different price for dollar CAD. Your brokers don't agree with the same highs. Your brokers don't agree with the same opening price. So there's tomfoolery there. There's a whole lot of room for you to get hurt. In currency futures, we all have the same high price. We all have the same low price. We have the same open and close. So it's a gentleman's approach to trading the same thing. You want to trade the British pound? Wonderful. Trade it through futures contracts. And don't trade with these garbage brokers, these unregulated offshore brokers that don't necessarily have your best interest in mind. In 2025, you're going to see the wheat and the chaff separated. You're going to see the sheep and the goat separated. Who's a real mentor? Who's really creating profitable students? Who knows what they're talking about? Because that's my motivation. I'm bringing you world-class analysis, not teaching. I'm not teaching. We're done teaching. I've taught everything. What I'm showing you is how to use what I've already taught. And there's not a whole lot of moving parts to it. In January, I'm going to show you how to pick your model, how to pick your index, your instrument, your asset class, how to pick your time frame for your type of model, how to pick and associate what your entry model should be, what PD array, how do you determine which PD array? Because I have a lot of them. How do you arrive at on an individual basis, on a personal basis? How do you pick the right one? Because there's so many people that capitalize on the interest that new people or inexperienced or lazy students, and I say that lovingly because it is a little intimidating when you come to my YouTube channel and see all that content. You're like, man, I just want to get started doing something. I don't have time to go through all those videos. Well, that's kind of like what I did in 2024. I showed you this is the nuts and bolts. Get out there and start doing this. Every time I create a new unique model, it's to prove to you that you don't need to watch all those videos right now in the beginning. You need to start somewhere though, To have a well-rounded approach as a trader, watching every video on that YouTube channel is always a recommendation by me. I don't care if you download all my videos and watch them from your PC. I don't care about ad revenue. I don't care. But if I'm going to put the videos up on YouTube for everybody to have for free, why shouldn't I get paid ad revenue? The ad revenue is going to get collected by YouTube. So why shouldn't I get 60% of it? Either they're going to get all of it or they're going to get 40% of it. So I'm not in the business of letting these rich people take money on things they didn't earn. So it's my content. I own it. I own the rights to it. I'm Inner Circle Trader. I'm always going to be Inner Circle Trader. That is my content. So I don't care how you devour the content. If you want to download it, then watch it from your computer because you just simply don't want to see an ad revenue payment go to me. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about that. I don't need that. Like I said, remind you, I could be doing this for money, and there's hundreds of thousands of you. They're all listening. Will gladly pay whatever. All I have to do is sit down for 1 month. 1 month, let you in a room, watch me trade. That's all I got. I don't have to teach you anything. Just let you see what I'm doing, and then say, now you want to see this? It's $500 a month. Most of you won't do that. You'll look for the guys that are selling the uh, the alternative streams. Okay, kind of like a scalper. They go out there and hey, look, you want to get in here? I'll sell you a ticket over here. But they do it for the cheap. I'm removing there's no need to go into anybody else's mentorship, and I'm going to get so much hate over this. I don't care because I'm tired of everybody using my name. I'm tired of everyone using my name to get attention drawn to you, and then you want to talk smack about me. That's low class marketing. You're going to have to earn it now because I'm going to give them so much gold. They're not even going to consider you. So you can flame me, you can praise me, you can do whatever you want. But if my name is in your title, your videos, or your content, you are literally proving that you need that instead of just being an individual all in and of yourself. Stop trying to be an ICT clone. Stop trying to mimic me. You can't be me. You can't be like me. You're not going to be able to teach and showcase what I'm going to show in 2025. That's not going to happen. So all you're going to do is show by contrast, glaringly obvious that you can't measure up. And that's why I'm doing it. And it's for free. Why would they pay you? Why should you listening pay anybody else that doesn't know what I know about the content I created? That's nonsense. That's lunacy. It's lunacy. To do things like that makes no sense. And I understand people feel like they have to pay for something to get value, but I'm a person that lives affluently. I don't need you to pay for my $200 course. I don't need you to pay me monthly payments. I don't care if you watch my videos from my YouTube channel or not. I don't care. Download them. I don't care. I don't care how you get it. I don't care. Okay? But I'm not allowing people the easy access to market and make money off of my name. It's just it's gotten way out of hand, and I've done strategic things this year to make it less enticing for people to want to do that. And because of what I'm going to show in 2025, you're going to learn how to look at the commodity markets. You're going to look at how I see the futures markets, index trading, currency futures, and Forex. Forex is back on the menu. Those are going to be short-term trading. I'm not trying to day trade Forex. I'm not trying to day trade currency futures. I want to be short-term trading. So that's like one-shot, one-kill setups. So I'm going to have pretty much everything that I've ever discussed and talked about. Long-term position trading is going to be like the commodity trading because I'm focusing on mega trades. Now there'll be swing trades in there that are usually held for like 2 weeks to a month and a half. Those will be talked about, and I'll give analysis on those types of setups too because there's one or two of them a month, but it takes a lot of time to wait for those things to form. And I'll give you strategies on how to implement when those conditions are met. So it'll show you how to use everything I've already taught, but apply it to real analysis in markets where you can choose. Which one do you see? And maybe in 2025, you will have an epiphany about what you should be doing as a trader because I'm going to cover all aspects of trading: position trading, swing trading, short-term trading, day trading. And I'm doing every asset class. No crypto. I will never, ever, ever trade crypto. And people that keep asking me that, stop asking me. If you see people trying to use my name and my logos or my face and whatever, and they say, I just opened up a Telegram channel, or I'll be teaching you new concepts. I'm not teaching new concepts. I'm not done. I'm done teaching. It's the doing now. Okay. You all know my language. You understand how I talk and how I refer to certain things. Now, when I sit over top of a chart and I say, this is where I believe the market's going to go here, and I don't believe it should do this. And then I'm going to tell you how I would engage that market, how I'm going to do it. It is not a signal service. It is not for you to copy me trading. It's none of that stuff. It's for you to make a sound, logical decision based on money behind real trades. If I'm showcasing something, I'm taking money and placing it behind these ideas. I am not talking in speculation. I'm not giving a hypothetical. I want to showcase this is what I would put money behind. It is not meant to inspire you to copy me. If you do that next year, you're wasting the opportunity that's being given to you. Because if you introduce money to it, you're going to be worried about whether or not I'm going to be right or wrong, and not understanding what it's like to watch price in that move. Now, contrast that with you struggle many times to get into a trade that may be on a 1 minute chart, and you put the trade on and it starts fluttering around and it moves in your favor or it doesn't move in your favor. Immediately, you are emotionally hooked. Now, every fluctuation means something to you, but it's grossly exaggerated and it's going to be clouding your mind. You're spending more time hoping that it moves in your favor and fearing that it won't, to notice the things that it's indicating that it is or isn't a sound trade anymore. You're worried about the micro fluctuations. If you have that tendency, and if you're trying to copy me next year with real money, simply because I'm telling you I'm going to be doing something with this idea, when I'm talking about short-term trading or a swing trade in a commodity market, you're going to lose your mind because I'm not going to talk about that thing every single day. It'll be a position that once I put it on, I place a stop, I let it go. And if you copy that, any little fluctuation in price action while you're in that same trade, you're going to be so anxious and scared. And you're going to be going to my Twitter and saying, hey, or X account, sorry. Hey, ICT, can you give me an update on this? Should I move? I'm not going to answer you. I'm not going to answer you. Not because I want to be rude or ignorant to you, but I'm reminding you, I'm not going to babysit your trade. I'm not going to do that. But if you want to see a world-class analyst trader in action, that's what 2025 is going to come. That's what I'm doing next year. And there ain't nobody out there. There ain't nobody out there anywhere. You can bring them all here. You can inspire them to do the same thing. Okay. Instead of asking me to come on your podcast, okay, because I don't do interviews. I'm not trying. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not going to act like a celebrity, and I'm not going to bring you attraction or traffic to your channel because you have me on your thing. If you have something of value, just produce it and share it to the community. That's all I'm doing. It's not about image. It's not about pomp. It's about let's get down to business. Okay. We have wonderful opportunities in front of us, wonderful opportunities laid before us coming over the next 2 years. And drama marketing and all the fun I've had this year on Twitter, I got to put that behind myself. Okay. And I want my son to see how all these